Write each of the following as a single fraction in its simplest form. So we have x squared plus 2x over 9 divided by x squared minus 3x over 6y squared. So this line here means divide. So we rewrite this as x squared plus 2x over 9y divided by x squared minus 3x over 6y squared. Now the rule for dividing fractions is we turn the second fraction upside down. So this flips upside down and becomes 6y squared over x squared minus 3x. And we multiply. The divide becomes multiply. We don't do anything to the first fraction. Then we multiply top by top, bottom by bottom. So x squared multiplied by 6y squared is 6x squared y squared, and 2x multiplied by 6y squared is 12x y squared. So we did top by top. Now we do bottom by bottom. So 9y multiplied by x squared is 9x squared y, and 9y multiplied by minus 3x is minus 27xy. So now we have a fraction, an algebraic fraction, and we're going to see can we simplify it a little more. So what we're going to do is we're going to factorize the numerator and the denominator. So start with the numerator. So we have 6 and 12. Well, the number that will divide into both of them is 6. So 6 is the first part of our HCF. Then we have x squared and x. So a single x is the next part of our HCF. A single x is common to both. And then we have y squared and y squared. So y squared is the other part of our HCF. So 6x y squared divides into 6x squared y squared, and all that's left is a single x. So we have an x in the front of our bracket. So we can have a look at this using rough work. So 6x squared y squared can be rewritten as 6xxyy. And we're dividing this by 6xy squared, because this is our HCF. So 6xy squared can be rewritten as 6xyy. So now we see what we can cancel. So the 6's will cancel, that x will cancel with that y will cancel with that y, and that y will cancel with that y. So all that's left is a single x. So that's why we have x inside the brackets. So next we have 12xy squared divided by the HCF, which is 6xy squared. So 12xy squared can be rewritten as 12xyy, and 6xy squared can be rewritten as 6xyy. So now we see what we can cancel. So 12 divided by 6 goes twice. That x will cancel with that x, that y will cancel with that y, and that y will cancel with that y. So that's how we end up with 2 inside the brackets. So 12xy squared divided by 6xy squared leaves us with 2. So factorizing this numerator leaves us with 6xy squared times x plus 2. Now we're going to factorize the bottom of the fraction. So we have 9x squared y minus 27xy. So we have to find the highest common factor. So out of the numbers 9 and minus 27, 9 is the highest common factor. Then we have an x squared and an x. So x is the next part of our highest common factor. Then we have a single y and a single y. So y is the last part of our HCF. So we need to do 9x squared y divided by 9xy. So 9x squared y can be rewritten as 9xxy, and 9xy can be rewritten as 9xy, or well, pretty much just stay the same. So now we see what we can cancel. So the 9 will cancel with the 9, that x with that x, that y with that y, and we're left with a single x. So that's why we have an x inside the brackets. So 9x squared y divided by 9xy leaves us with x. So next we're going to factorize minus 27xy. So we're going to do minus 27xy divided by 9xy. So minus 27xy, we just keep as minus 27xy. We don't need to split it apart because there's no squares. And that's divided by 9xy. So let's see what will cancel. Well, minus 27 divided by 9 leaves us with minus 3. That x will cancel with that x, and that y will cancel with that y. So we end up with minus 3. So that's how we have minus 3 inside the bracket. So minus 27xy divided by 9xy leaves us with minus 3. Now you can check by multiplying out the brackets. So 6xy squared multiplied by x gives us 6x squared y squared. And 6xy squared multiplied by 2 gives us 12xy squared. And likewise, on the bottom, 9xy multiplied by x gives us 9x squared y. And 9xy multiplied by minus 3 gives us minus 27xy. So we have factorized, but we can actually simplify a little bit further. So 6 and 9, what will divide into both of them? Well, 3 will divide into both of them. And 6 divided by 3 leaves us with 2. So we have 2. And 9 divided by 3 leaves us with 3. So we've got 3 on the bottom. Next, the x and the x will cancel. And then we have a y squared and a y. So y squared is really y. So we're going to cancel a single y from the top and the bottom. So I can actually just get rid of that squared part because I'll still have one y on top, and I can get rid of that y there. So I end up with 2y all over 3. And then what's inside the brackets did not change. So I end up with 2y times x plus 2 divided by 3 times x minus 3.